What is going on? This is part 3 of building out an entire paid acquisition offer for home service businesses, start to finish, from scratch. This is the final part. This is where we are going to be building the back end here today in Go High Level. This is our platform of choice. We're going to be laying out the pre-call video, so what they have to watch before the video to pre-frame the call, and then the client journey system here. If you haven't already watched the other 2 parts of the series, in part 1, we laid out what the offer is and how it's going to work and copied the funnel and mirrored the funnel essentially, laid out what the funnel is going to look like. And then in part 2, we built the VSL structure here. As you can see, we've already recorded the VSL. It's already been completed. The landing page is done. Now we're into the final stretch here, the home stretch of finalizing this entire system out. So what you will learn today in this video is how to lay out a dialed backend system and Go High Level for your offer or your client's offer. So if you're running an offer, if you're trying to run an offer, if you already have an offer and you want to optimize it, this video is for you. It's going to be a live build. I'm going to go through the entire process with you live so you can see exactly how I do it and you can potentially mirror it for yourself. So I hope you enjoy. I put this on in 2x speed. We'll watch it all the way through. I might not be as engaging with the camera, but I'm going to try my very best. Cool. So the first thing we're going to do is build out the backend and Go High Level. So that consists of a couple things. So the first thing we're going to do is attach the domain to the funnel. We're going to set up the calendar. We're going to have a custom fields go set up and then the pipeline as well, and then have some simple automations in here. Basically, so we're ready to take in new leads and we don't get anybody lost in the pipeline as we go through the process. Pretty simple, pretty boring, honestly, but I mean, I'm going to show you guys it anyway. And then the second thing we're going to do is lay out the pre-call video. We're going to do this right on Miro, and then the client journey. So this is basically the client funnel, the nurture system. So what happens if someone doesn't get through the whole process? How do we nurture them? And then just some middle of funnel education. And I'll kind of show you our strategy there with YouTube as well. So stay tuned. This is going to be a really good one. And like I said, if you haven't already watched part 1 and part 2, they're linked in the description here to check out how we started this process. Awesome. So what we're going to first do here is attach the domain. So this is a pretty boring part, but I'm already in Go High Level. We're going to get our domains connected here. Basically what we want to do, domains and URLs, we're going to create a subdomain here. So we're just going to connect this domain for our funnel. We're going to make this cool, marketing.halversonbros.com. Continue. We're going to see if we can find the domain. Otherwise, we're going to add it manually here. Cool. So now we just got to go to our hosting platform, verify records, and we'll see if it connects right away. That'd be cool because then we just got this step done. Simple as that. This is a subdomain to my main domain. This works really well for funnels. Just use a subdomain if you already have one. Then I don't have to buy a new domain. Makes things pretty easy. So we'll see how this looks if it verifies. So I want to be clear here, kind of my intention with this video is I just want to show you everything. Like a lot of people don't show you everything. So I just want to show you everything, this entire process and how this all works. And yeah, you can kind of see what I do and how I'm building this for my own business. We're expecting to do 6 figures. We're trying to scale to 6 figures a month with this offer exactly, but it's obviously pre-launch. So we haven't done anything crazy yet. Boom, our domain is now active. We're going to go into our site. And we're going to make sure this is the case. We're going to preview this if possible. So it doesn't seem to be ready yet. Let's see. So it's not working yet. Common little domain troubleshooting here. Let's see if it works when I preview it and I refresh. Now it has loaded. Amazing. It is loaded for your reference here, as you can see. So we've got it. Cool. So domain has been connected. That is step 1. Simple. And then the next thing we're going to do is set up our calendar. So we did the domain. Now we're going to set the calendar up. Go back into Go High Level, and we're going to set up the calendar right in from here. We're going to go to calendar settings. This is going to be a meeting. So we're going to make a new calendar here. This is going to be a personal booking. And then we just got to figure out the name. So I'm going to go into ChatGPT here. We can figure out the name here real quick. You're not going to be able to see this. All right, ChatGPT. So we're getting into the calendar setup right now. We just need the calendar name and then a dialed in little description here to kind of just talk about what's on the call and stuff like that. And then we're going to go into our team member. Obviously, that's me. Make a little simple widget here. The duration, I'm thinking we can probably set these calls to be about an hour long just to be safe. Potentially 45 minutes, but I think an hour is pretty good. And then from there, we just got to set our availability. And then obviously, like we're going to have a redirect page. The redirect's going to go to, and then we're going to have to make a form as well. So that's another thing. Then we're going to have to redirect them to a page. So we're going to add them to, we're going to redirect them to our post call booked page, which is step 3 of our funnel. And yeah, that's really all we got to do. So once we do that, we should be ready to go. And then we're just going to have to connect that to the funnel as the button that they press. That's where they go when they click the button. Cool. So if you want to give me all of the front end, like name, description, all that fun jazz for this calendar, that'd be awesome. Cool. So I'm just having ChatGPT all the hard work for me. I don't have to figure out the name. It's already got all the context. I'm going to give it the calendar name. It's going to give me a good one. If I don't like it, I'll just have it change it. This is how we use ChatGPT to get really fast outputs and scale. As long as it has the context on you and you have a brain and you don't just blindly follow what it says, you're going to be in a good spot. All right, we're going to call it a paid growth system strategy call. Perfect. Love the name. And then we're going to go into our description that it gave us. Add that in. What I'm going to do is paste this so it's dialed in. Cool. We'll cover XYZ. And I'm going to make this black so everything looks good. Make it black. For some reason, it's not like black. They don't look black. Okay. If that's black to go high level, that's cool with me. Awesome. So we have that. And then just the meeting invite title. We're going to have to figure this out, which we can tell it. Cool. Now I just need a meeting invite title. So like what we call the meeting. So this is basically how it's going to show up in their calendar. So it could just be like strategy call with Ethan Halverson, something like that. But let me know what you think. And then obviously the meeting location is going to be Google Meet for us, for our circumstance. We're going to make it yellow for a meeting color. Then time-wise, we're going to make this a non-recurring meeting, paid growth strategy call, Ethan Halverson. Yep, love it. Perfect. That's what we'll call it. Dope. Just saving it so we can keep our progress here. And then we're going to get into availability. So date range ahead. And so we want to kind of get strategic on how we want to do this. So we're going to kind of, all right, cool. So now we're into the availability side of things. So the meeting interval, I'm thinking we probably do every 30 minutes or so. And then meeting duration, obviously we're going to do 60 minutes just to make sure we have everything perfect. Minimum scheduling notice 1 day. Date range in the future, I would probably say 7 days is solid. We could maybe do 10 or 7. Maximum bookings per slot 1, maximum bookings per day. We're not going to have a maximum, but I would say probably we'd want to permit to about 2 or 3 as of right now before we start scaling here. And then for the availability, I'm going to adjust some of the hours here that I have. I'm going to customize our schedule for this calendar specifically. So we can do calls Saturday, Sunday, but like you said, I like the idea of keeping them in the afternoon. So we're going to kind of sacred the mornings a little bit. Probably do first calls available at like 11 a.m. type of deal. So 11 a.m. all the way up until we'll probably say 7 p.m. is kind of like our availability timeline. We can maybe even start at 12 p.m. And then we'll have availability on Sundays and Saturdays as well. But obviously those can be more blocked off into like the afternoon as well. Because I know like most of the times they're not busy on the weekends. So we probably get more calls on the weekends. Cool. And I'm literally just having this thing just give me all the weekly hours I should be working with here. Kind of just figuring out the context. This is a great place to get clarity, man. If you don't know what you want to do, it'll tell you exactly where to cook it. So 60 minutes, psychologically safe to do an hour. I like that. And then let's see where we're at here. Meeting interval, 30-minute intervals. Minimum scheduling notice, we'll do 7 days. 1 booking per slot, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Weekend availability, 1 to 5. Yep, I like it. We'll just do that. Make it simple. You don't want to seem like you're available all the time, right? So we'll do 12 p.m. Why don't they have a 12? Oh, yeah. 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. And we want to do this for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then like optionally, just in case, realistically, like I'll take a call at 8 p.m. if I have to. Just because if they're, Eastern time, that might be a better timeline. Cool. And then Saturday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. I like that. Kind of give them the availability there. Do a 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then Sunday, we'll do a 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Awesome. Boom. So there we go. We have our schedule. It has been saved. Awesome. Now we have our hours varying here. And then, interval. We're going to do 7 days forward. So they can book 7 days in advance. And then we're going to have the meeting duration 60 minutes, interval every 30 minutes. And then minimum scheduling notice 1 day. Looks good. Save that. Then we're going to go to forms and payment. So the form, obviously, we're going to have to custom make right now. So that's what we're going to get into next. We're going to get right into the form. Awesome. Before we do that, let's get into the form. Cool. So we're going to have to create the form for this. I want to make it relatively simple. I don't want it to be too frictioned. Realistically, I think they should just put based on what we already have them do. So we'll just do this. Your company name. So we already know their company name. We already know their name. We already know their email, and we know their revenue range. So what we're going to want to do here is get their phone number, get their name again, obviously. And then I would say the next step would be you could maybe ask a couple questions. We don't want to go too crazy. Obviously, we still want to have enough kind of ammunition when we get to the call. Figure out like what industry they are, right? Like what type of, like, best, please describe your business, right? Like what kind of business you run. And then we could have like a text box for that. So basically what we got to do now is create the fields, if that makes sense. So we got to make the fields for the form and then basically lay out the form, making it simple. We don't want to make it too crazy. And then, yeah, go from there. And then once we're done with that, then this calendar is basically ready. We just got to add the form into that, and then we should be ready to rock. Cool. So yeah, help me lay that out, and let's get going. Boom. And now we're going to lay out the form so you guys can see that. Let's go into custom fields first. That's what we're going to have to do first. All right. So we have our folders here. We're going to go into the opportunity specifically for now. Cool, because there's technically an opportunity in our CRM at this point. Make a new folder. We're going to call it HB Marketing. This CRM is kind of messy. This is where we're running our service business as well. So for right now, we could make this related to the company object as well. I didn't know we had a company object. Let's see, what would that look like? Company info. Could definitely do that as well. I think we'll just stick to the opportunity side of things right now. So we'll call this HB Marketing, and then we'll go to Opportunity. So we have a new folder in the HB Marketing Opportunity section. So we're going to be adding all these new fields. Cool. So we're going to let ChatGPT roll here and get this built out for us. And then, yeah, boom, boom. Then I'm going to have to add some new data as well, transfer some data over. Right now, for the contact specifically, we have a couple things in here. We have the, I believe, in the general info. Yeah, what's your current monthly revenue range? We're going to just duplicate this and bring this into the, I don't think I can move it into, yeah. So we're just going to copy this exact field. I'm going to do this real quick and duplicate this so we can just copy this exact field for that specifically. We'll do add new field. We'll make this a radio select. This will be specifically in the opportunity section. This will be in the HB marketing group. And then we're literally just going to copy the exact wording here. What's your current monthly revenue range? Boom. And then we just go into this, click edit, and then take the ranges that we already have in here. And yeah, this is just going to be replaced on the main survey. So we just have to re-optimize that, and then we should be solid. And then we'll say 100,000 plus, save, boom. So now that's in HB marketing. So we have everything there. Company name we already have, full name we already have, email we already have, phone number we already have. Cool. And then monthly revenue range we already have, so we don't have to ask that question again. And then we have business type / industry. What type of service business do you run? I like it. So we're just making it really simple. Really simple. Amazing. So we're just going to go real quick back into the opportunity section. I'm just going to reword the options here real quick because I like the idea of like the 20 to 50K, 0 to 20,000, and then we'll say 20 to 50,000, 20 to 50, and then we'll do 50 to 100, and then we'll do, yeah, and then we'll do 100,000 plus. Cool. So that's saved. And then business type and industry, I'm just gonna do a short text because like it could be any industry. So we'll add a field here. This will be just a short text. We'll just have it be, what type of service business do you run? And we can just have this be like a placeholder that says, I run a roofing company. Cool. And we'll probably do something here like where are they based? I think that's a good idea. Like where are you based out of? I run a roofing company based out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Cool. And then short, open-ended. In 1 or 2 sentences, what's the biggest challenge with getting consistent jobs right now? I like that question as well. This gives me ammo for the call. Cool. Yeah, so we can make this not required, essentially. And this helps me repair. Cool. Dope. And then really all we need to do, company name, full name, email address, phone number. So we'll have the phone number. That's important. So I'm going to get into the form now. I believe we have all the custom fields we need. So we're not going to have the monthly revenue question in there because they already answered it. Same thing with the email. All we're going to need is their phone, is their name. We don't need their company name because they're going to have to see this to book. So dope. That looks perfect. I like that a lot. We'll stick to that. I think that's the play. So I have right now, what type of service business do you run? I have that as a text. So I have in the what do you call it? The preview or whatever you want to call it. I have I have it say like an example would be like, I run a roofing company based out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Like I want to know what type of service business do you run and where are you based, right? Because I want to know where they're at. And then, yeah, and then we have in 1 or 2 sentences, what's your biggest challenge with getting consistent jobs right now? And those are all the questions we really need. So I can get into making this form now. I think that's perfect. And we can figure out their, what CRM they're using and everything on the call. So this is really just just figuring out the key things we need to book a call. Because at this point, if they've watched the VSL, they've already answered the question of their monthly revenue. So we already know if they're financially qualified before we even see them on the call. So cool. So now we're going to go into the form. We're going to build one from scratch. We're going to make it a simple form. We don't want to make it too crazy. This will be our contractor call form, B1. Cool. So all we need is their full name, right? Your full name required, or your personal phone number. We can just give them an example like 920-278-5567. Boom. Your full name. This could be, I like putting placeholders, John Kennedy. We don't need their email. We don't need all this jargon. We don't need all that jargon. Best phone number. We need the current monthly revenue. We just need to know what type of service business they run. So we're going to go into the opportunity section. Type of service business do you run? We don't need that. What type of service business do you run and where are you based? Make this required. What's the biggest constraint holding your growth back right now? I like that. Kind of slows down the question a little bit. Love it. Love it. So now we just add our checkbox. I'll show up on time and understand this is a live strategy call. I'll show up on time and notify you in advance if something comes up. Cool. Then we'll add another TM, terms and conditions. And then this one will say, understand I'll receive prep material, reminders for the call. And then we want to make sure this is the same size as this text. I don't know why it's not. This is size 13. This is size 13 as well. Let's keep them the same size. Is this just different? Is it like a different font or what? Looks like it is. Understand this is a live strategy call. I'll show up on time and we'll notify you in advance if something comes up. I understand I'll receive prep material and reminders before the call and may be contacted via email to ensure the call is productive. Boom. Bet. Simple. This is just kind of simple stuff. We don't want to be wasting our time. Obviously, I understand this is a live strategy call. I'll show up on time and we'll notify you in advance if something comes up. So we're looking good. This is super dialed. How is this looking on mobile? So that's really all that matters. We need to look at it on mobile. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Confirm my strategy call. Big old button right there. Oops. Don't want to do that. Why did it just disappear? Wanted to go into settings. Make sure our button is dialed. Looks good. Cool. Full width. Colors. See, I don't know why it doesn't have my brand color on here. So what I'm going to do quick, go into my brand board. Snag our colors here quick because I just need the color code for this. Cool. We'll go back here and throw this color code in here. This black so that they can see. Confirm my strategy call. Perfect. Now we have our button. We can do a subtext if we wanted to. Get sneaky with it. Obviously, we want to make sure that it's pasted naturally. And the subtext, we got to make super small. We got to make this like a 10. You receive calendar confirmation and prep instructions immediately. Make it slightly bigger than that. Nope. We're going to keep it at 10 because we don't want it to be stacked. It's solid. I mean, it's just a little more context. Schedule and confirm my strategy call. Now let me see if I add the icon, if it screws anything up. Nope. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Yep. Arrow. Perfect. Love it. Amazing. All right. We're looking good. I'll just have this say awesome. Done there. And then we just have to redirect, which we don't have a URL for yet. So we're just going to save this for right now. And then we can optimize it and add it to the calendar redirect eventually here. My experience was okay. It was all right. All right. So now we're going to go back to calendars, go back into the calendar we just cooked up. And then we're going to add this into our form. So this is going to be our form. Contractor call form. Amazing. Looks good there. Save. Sweet. Primary color, find the color for buttons, dates, time slots, and actions. Yeah, I'm going to make our color our brand color for sure. For sure. Might as well match it up. Background color. It's dope. Save. And then for some reason, I don't know why the form, I don't know why it doesn't have that messaging in there, but that's fine. Cool. I'm going to look back in the form quick. I thought it would have what we literally just did. I don't know why it didn't have that. Stop to opt out. That way we're compliant because we want to be compliant. Cool. And then realistically, when we go to this tab, we refresh, we should see that is consistent. Yep. Cool. And then for some reason, it doesn't have the schedule. It just still says schedule meeting. I don't know why that is. I thought I updated that. There we go. Now it shows up. Cool. Awesome. So there we are. That is step number 2. Done. And we did the custom fields as well. So now we just got to build out the pipeline. And then we can set up a couple simple automations to start. And then we're going to get in the pre-call video. So perfect. cancel out some tabs here. So we're looking good. Amazing. So now next step is going to be the pipeline. So this is just going to be really simple. This is just kind of a pipeline. So that way, basically going to be a couple things. It's just going to be relevant to our sales process and how things look based on how far the contact got in this process. So we'll talk to ChatGPT and get that dialed. All right, cool. So I just went through, made the calendar, got the custom fields in there. Everything's looking good. Now the next step would be basically getting the sales pipeline created and go high level. So we're going to do that now. Basically what I'm thinking the pipeline is going to look like here, really simply put, just going to be a, let me get into opportunities here. Make our pipeline, create pipeline. So yeah, we're going to call it our pipeline. So HB marketing pipeline. And then the stages is essentially going to be, new lead is essentially like they watched the video. And then if they never booked a call, they're going to be brought into a new lead didn't book call. So then they're going to be automatically brought into kind of a nurture process, automation process there. And then we're going to have someone that booked a call. And then obviously if they booked a call, like call scheduled and then call completed and then like converted into a client or lost, etc. So probably a simple like 6 to 7 step pipeline stage sequence here. So yeah, we'll just get into that here and cook that up. And then from there, we can make a couple simple automations next to kind of make this pipeline work and flow together. Cool. So we're going to have ChatGPT help us cook the pipeline here, just get the final stages locked in order. Dude, as somebody that grew up and kind of started business with ChatGPT, like even if I know what I want to put down, I got to put it in the ChatGPT first, and then it gives me, everything dialed in the exact way that I want it to be. Cool. Yep. New lead watch VSL. That's essentially like our assumption. Like, okay, they're a new lead and they watch the VSL. And then we have didn't book call. Then we have call scheduled, call completed, qualified, proposal sent. Most instances we're getting payment on the call. So like, I don't know if that's even that relevant. I would just say closed, client, closed, not a fit, lost. Just say closed, and then we can just say lost. And we can just have a nurture built into it. Boom. So that's our pipeline. Cool. We've made that. Now we just need to go into build some automations out. So that was simple. As you can see, I'm literally crossing the list off one by one, like I told you I would. So we're going through everything. Pipeline best practices. Basically how I view a sales pipeline is like essentially like it's just automations, right? Like this is all just like AI shit. Like the whole goal for a pipeline is just to move the lead through the sales process. Like we just want to keep them moving, keep them moving, keep them moving. So essentially what we're doing this for is to track their stages. So we obviously have the new lead stage, right? The new lead stage is somebody that basically filled in their form to watch the VSL. And then we have a tracker, right? Because the next step after the VSL is to book a call, right? So like if they opt into the first section, which is basically like put your information in so you can watch the VSL, right? Once they do that, they're brought to the VSL page. If they don't book a call, we're going to assume they either didn't watch the VSL or it didn't fit for them. Cool. So this is where we kind of bring in a follow-up process. So they kind of have two routes here. So they either book or they don't, right? If they book a call, so call, and we have a section with like they did not book, no call. Cool. For the no call, they're going to be brought into a sequence, essentially kind of nurture, figure out, okay, was this just not a right fit for you? We'll probably have some text automations going out, basically try to get a response from them. Cool. They book a call, they just go into our, reminder sequence and then kind of our middle of funnel. So this is where they go into our middle of funnel. I hate drawing with my computer. It's hard. That's basically what we're doing here. So that's what the pipeline's tracking. So the first stage is tracking this. So they're a new lead here. And then if they don't book a call, they go into the did not book a call step. And then we have an automation sequence that comes in there. They do book a call. They go into the call scheduled pipeline stage, which triggers automations. So it's really just a way to manage the sales process and keep it relatively automated so you don't have to do a lot of hands-on work. So that's kind of what we're doing here. And then we're going to add these automations in to basically make the pipeline manageable and make it work for our situation. So that's what we're going to do here now is cook up the automation. So I'm gonna make a new folder here. This is gonna be HB marketing. We gotta clean up this Go High Level account here too. We have a lot of IP from our business, which is gonna be helpful for other businesses as well, because we're gonna be probably using a lot of the infrastructure we already have. So we're just gonna make a couple workflows and get this rolling here. All right, so the first workflow we're gonna wanna make, this is going to be the new lead, new opt-in flow. So this basically just gets them into our pipeline. So once they submit a survey, the survey that we have on here, contractor survey. Once they submit that, they go into our pipeline. So we're going to create an opportunity, right? HP marketing pipeline, opportunity name is going to be contact name. Then they're going to be dropped into the stage, new lead. And then we're going to have the value at $4,000 because that's what our base rate is. And then status is open. And then eventually we can get into tracking where they came from. But for now, we're just going to say, obviously it's going to be Facebook ad. Bang. And since we did create an opportunity, we also want to create a contact on command. Cool. So we're just going to add the contact in for their email. This will be where we find their contact email. Then we have their business name, which is where we go into company name. And then we have their, I think that's it. I think that's all we ask. So name, email, company name. So all we're missing is their name. So full name. Boom. Cool. And then I want to have a notification internally going to us so we know, oh, sweet. We got a new lead that came in. Cool. So be new inbound lead, HP marketing, and then we'll have their name, email, and then company name, and then we'll have their, this is where we get into our opportunity values here for the, what is your current monthly revenue range? Cool. So be current revenue, company name, email, name. We'll say prep for booked call or be ready for, and I'll say starting engagement in 1 to 2 hours to see 1 to 2 hours depending on if they book call. So like either way, if they end up not booking a call here, we would start an engagement sequence in like about an hour, depending on if they book or not. So we give them enough time to see if they do book. If they do book, they won't get anything about like this engagement sequence. Perfect. And then from there, we don't really need to do anything else. I think that's really it. We don't have to do anything crazy. We don't have to send them an SMS right away. We really just have to, I mean, here we could start getting into like our tracking system and stuff, which I'm going to build into this later, but not right now. So we'll just say remove from workflow. Cool. And then actually what we could do here, so we can do a wait step. And this is where we wait until condition. Cool. So we wait until the contact is actually booked an appointment, which I believe we can do. We can do an if else step actually. I think that's what we want to do here. If else. So if contact books, so this will be prospect books call, then we would move them to the next stage. So this would basically be, I think the last appointment should work, I think. Or what we could do is if they're active in another workflow, then they've booked a call. If they aren't, then they haven't booked a call. So I'll probably measure it that way to make it simple. So if the prospect books call, they are somebody that has been active in a different we'll just say any other workflow for now. And then prospect doesn't book a call is not active in any other workflow. Cool. And then I'm going to add a wait step above this. We're going to wait probably about 2 hours. Realistically, we should only be able to wait, I'd say probably 60 minutes. So we'll say 1 hour because they should be able to book a call in time there. So wait 1 hour, condition, prospect books call, prospect doesn't book call. If they don't book a call, then we would update opportunity and move them into then we'll move them into didn't book call. If they did book call, do the same thing. We'll update them. And then we'll add them into pipeline stage, call schedule. Simple. And we'll move from workflow, conditions, none met. Same thing here. We'll move from workflow. Boom. So that's our step. Pretty simple. We can obviously test this out. Allow reentry. Oh, I don't want that to happen. And then, yeah, everything should fire off to us internally. So there's no outbound messages going out here. Cool. That's the first workflow we're building, new lead opt-in workflow. And then the next workflow is going to be a workflow, essentially a simple workflow for lead to not book call. I don't want to automate this completely because obviously we want to communicate with them ourselves. Prospect, no booked call. So if the prospect doesn't book a call, so this will be if they are in the pipeline of obviously this pipeline, and then that is if they are in the pipeline stage, did not book call. Cool, so that's our trigger there. And then real quick, I'm gonna make the same workflow for prospect that has booked a call. And that's all the workflows we really need to start here. Prospect, booked call. We'll just add a trigger, same thing, pipeline stage changed, in pipeline, our pipeline, pipeline stage, call scheduled. And what I'm going to do here is I also add an additional trigger. So if a customer booked an appointment for this calendar, it'll also trigger this automation. And we obviously don't want it to trigger twice. So boom. And then I'm going to add that in settings to make sure that doesn't happen. Cool. So those are our two workflows there. We got the first one done, which is like the simplest one really. And then the second one is prospect booked a call. And then the other one is if the prospect didn't book a call. I believe this is the best way we can structure this. So what I'm going to actually do here is I'm going to completely remove this trigger because it's not relevant. Because based on what we had in the original one, which we'll add in here, we'll go back and optimize the original one so this actually works. And we can test this as well. I recommend you definitely test things before you start. So we go back into our condition here and we say prospect books call, workflow contact is active in the booked call workflow that we just made. So we're going to find that. Prospect booked call workflow. And then prospect doesn't book call, workflow contact is not active in prospect booked call workflow. Bang. So that's the perfect way to have this condition go. So you wait 1 hour, they don't do it, which is more than enough time, by the way. We could probably take this time horizon down. So I'm gonna add a little note here that we don't want to. So I'm gonna say, based on this situation, if we can move time horizon down to probably 30 minutes or less, because time on VSL page should really only be 20 minutes max, right? So we're just gonna have this here as like kind of a little note that we can make, because as we go on here, as we move forward, if obviously there's a circumstance where that happens, that's cool. Like, hey, maybe they're on the page for a while, right? They're on there for 30 minutes and then they I gotta book it. So it's good to have that in place there. So cool. We're gonna keep it drafted for now, and then we're gonna be able to test this here later. I don't know what the advanced builder thing is. Oh, look at that. Look at Go High Level Go, man. I got a whole new workflow builder in here. This is kind of cool. I didn't know that this was a thing. That's pretty cool. I'm learning new things every day in Go High Level, man. This is a great platform for this reason specifically. Cool. So now this new opt-in workflow should work perfectly for this circumstance. Now we're just going to get in. I'm going to kind of use AI to kind of help me with some of the messaging here. We're going to just make it one step for now, and then we can go a lot deeper down the line. Obviously, if they didn't book a call, we can only reach out to them via email because we're only collecting email on that initial page. When they do book a call, that's when we reach out to them via text. And then obviously send them emails, kind of nurture them as we go forward to the call. So that's where we can get more into the kind of middle of funnel nurture process, but I want to get the post-call booked sequence done. So we're just going to get the no book call workflow set up real quick, and then we'll have this simple kind of step-by-step for the prospect book call workflow as well. So cool. All right, awesome. So we got the pipeline done. Now we're in the process of the automations. So I have the automation for the new lead opt-in that's already created. So basically what it does is just internally notify me, adds them to our pipeline, and then have a wait step for about an hour. We could probably take that wait step down to like 30 minutes or less. So we're basically waiting an hour for them to book a call. Cool. And then we have a condition. So if the prospect books a call, then we take them into and we update them as an opportunity into the call scheduled pipeline stage. If the prospect doesn't book a call within that 1 hour time frame, then we move them into they didn't book a call pipeline stage. Cool. So now we have just two automations basically. One of them is the prospect book call workflow, which we can set up. We're probably not going to go too extensive into that yet because that's more nurture driven and that's a little more deep. And then we have the prospect no book call workflow. This is what I want to build with you right now. Basically, my idea here is we're just going to have, obviously, we're going to only be able to reach out to them via email because that's what we're capturing at the start. So this is where we'll probably just send an initial email, kind of see, hey, what's going on? And then if they don't respond or reply, when they do reply, I'm going to be able to handle it manually, which is the goal. But I want to have a sequence of like, hey, we're following up with them via email pretty consistently. And then if they respond to that email, then we'll be able to turn off the automation and I can go in and like respond to them. If they don't, we're going to keep following up with them consistently until they do respond to us. Cool. So help me build that stage out right now. We can get into some of the copy, but yeah, kind of the follow-up sequence if they like opt in to see the VSL, but they never book a call. and we're going to only have their email here. Just keep that in mind. Just because I want to see a higher opt-in rate for the call. I feel like email is a lot less friction than a phone number. So we'll see a higher opt-in rate to see the VSL, which is huge. Like that's a conversion mechanism we're thinking about here as well. It's like there's really no need to get their phone number prior to this. And they'll probably feel a lot more safe just putting their email in because they don't have much trust from us yet. So that's the reason why we're going to go with the email to start with. So we have it responding to us here. It's basically going to help us lay this out. I already know the structure in my head, which I can probably get into here now. So if the prospect did not book a call, it already updates the pipeline stage for us. So really all we need to do here now is basically just send them an email right away. So the first step is email. Send an email, which we're going to get into. Cool. Yeah, so we don't want to do crazy follow-up. Yep. So it's basically saying email one's kind of a soft check-in. Kind of frame is like, hey, did you get a chance to see this? Right. From name. So what I'm going to do before I mess with this is I'm going to click save, and I'm going to make sure on the back end that we have our sender details on here. And we're going to definitely want to have a time window here. We don't want to go too crazy on these emails. Probably say between 5 a.m. and we'll say 10 p.m. or the time zone. Cool. And then I'm probably going to have to change our picture on the email just for future reference. So because a lot of this backend is built, let me see here. I think I can easily do this myself. The picture's been updated because before it was a picture of like, it was a dumb picture. So we're going to make this simpler. All right. And then for the email, we had quick question, first name. Email best practices, like you need to have their name in every subject line so it doesn't show up in spam. We're just going to keep a simple, kind of cold, no crazy format, no crazy template. Just wanted to follow up. Hey, first name, just wanted to check in. Did you get a chance to watch a short video on how we build predictable ad systems for home service businesses? If that made sense to you, you can grab a time on my calendar here. If not, no worries at all. Just wanted to make sure nothing broke on your end. Thanks. Ethan Halverson under HP Marketing. Dope. And then what I'm going to do here on the back end real quick, what you guys are going to be able to see me do, is I'm going to make, and when I was using Go High Level before, I never knew this, but I'm going to make a custom value for this calendar specifically. So this is going to be our HP strategy call calendar. Oh, shit. Okay. I got to get the link for the calendar first. All right, calendars. We'll get our link, share calendar. Now let me make sure it works, first of all. It's showing up the right way. Okay, we're looking good. Calendar's looking good. So I'm going to copy this link here, the link, and then we're going to go back into the custom values section. We're going to make that new custom value. It's going to be HP strategy call calendar. We're going to add our value in here, and we're going to create it. So now what I can do in emails is just directly reference this in the email. Based on best practices, I don't think I'm going to follow the lead here that ChatGPT has given us to book the call here. Grab a time on my calendar here. Custom values, HP strategy call, calendar. No worries. Just want to make sure nothing broke on your end. I'll test this email to myself quick. Boom. First email goes out. Then we wait for contact reply to this email. Our timeout time will be 24 hours. We're not going to spam the shit out of them. Boom. So, and then we just go back into the second step here. 24 hours later, why most ads don't work. And then if contact replies, we're just going to have an internal notification come to us here. So we know, like, hey, this guy has replied. And then this will just be contact first name. We'll just say contact full name for now to make it. So I know contact full name has replied to an email and has not booked a call yet. And we say, please respond and try to book them in. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is remove them from the workflow. And then what I'm going to do as well, this is just crazy backend shit. Okay. What I'm going to do is when because I just thought about it in my head. What if they book a call, but don't say anything in the email? Well, what we need to do in the prospect book call workflow, we need to have remove from workflow, not this workflow, all workflows except current workflow. Okay. That way that they don't get an email again asking them why they didn't book a call. That's the first thing we got to do. It's very, very important backend shit right there because we don't want to screw this up sequence wise. It's very important. Very, very important right there. Okay. And then, yeah, if they don't respond, within that time frame. We send an email. Normally here I would have like a wait to make sure it's within this time frame gap, which we can do to make sure that we're sending it at a specific time. So we could wait for a specific amount of time, right? So like wait for 2 minutes, and hey, like we only want this message to send out between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Right? We want to send this in the morning. Boom. So now it'll only send between that time frame. Okay. And then we have the email come out again. This is the same email. What I'm going to do here to make this simple, we're just going to copy this action and paste it right here. So we already have the template we need. And then we're going to grab the other email. This is kind of a context and value email. And then we're going to optimize the headline. It's going to say why most ads don't work. And we're obviously going to have their first name in there. Why most ads don't work. Contact first name. Let me say hi first name. So what I think I'm going to do here, instead of sending them to book a call right away, I think I'm just going to send them back to the page to see the video again, and then they can book a call if needed. All right, so what I'm going to do here real quick to optimize here, instead of sending them to book a call, I'm going to send them directly to the page with the VSL on it, and then they can choose to book a call again, just in case they didn't watch it. That way we're not just sending them straight to our calendar right away. Cool? So that way, like, they still have a chance to rewatch the video if needed. So I'm going to get that link right now in the site section and make sure that that looks good. I'm going to name the steps. So this one is step 1, but we don't want to call it that. We want to call it watch now. Just watch now video. Make sure this works. Okay, amazing. And we're going to have step 2. We just got to name this link. So that way, step 2 is going to be book call. Technically what I want to do, yeah, we can do that. We can call it book call. And then we'll just go here, make sure it works. Boom. Then you can watch the video. Cool. And then they can book a call, which we obviously have to link to make it work. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to copy this, and we're going to make that be the link for the custom value, just to make it simple. So that way, obviously, if they need to see it, they can see it. Cool. So HB, we're just going to say HB, what's it called? HB VSL plus call book. This is basically just step 2. We just call it HB VSL step 2. Just going to update that, and then yeah, we should be good. So we can just keep going. But like, if you want to switch the copy, that'd be sweet. I don't want it to be like you know, like if you want to watch the call, and if you haven't watched the video and want to book a call, click the link here, and then they'll be able to book a call on that same page. You know what I mean? And I think we can be more tedious with the follow-up here because it's email. So we can go way more than just like 4 follow-up emails. You know what I mean? Way more. So let's get some more cooked up here. We want to cook up more emails. Eventually, the whole goal is to be able to send them to middle of funnel YouTube content. Right now, all we can send them to is the VSL. But the goal is to send them to middle of funnel content to warm them up and nurture them, which is why we're going to be making a YouTube here shortly to be able to do that. So that's obviously a big goal, because that really turns you into a brand. And then if they're not ready now, or if they don't have trust, or if they don't believe in you, they can go to your YouTube and see that you're actually top shit. So that's what we're going to do there. Cool. Did you get a chance to watch this? So we're just switching up a little bit of our process, just a little bit, not too much. But I think this is the right way to structure it here. So slightly checking. I like the quick question. Just got to re-optimize the calendar here. Custom values, HPVSL step 2. And I want to test the email to make sure that this worked on our end and it's actually showing. If you didn't finish it, here's the link again. And then I'm going to send a test email to myself real quick just to make sure this worked. Hey, just wanted to check in. Did you get a chance to watch the video? And then we have that link there. Great. Don't know why it has an S that comes up there. So it works. For right now, though, we're going to get into this. I have to switch some backend shit up. Just a couple things. Just a couple things on the back end here. Why most ads don't work. I like that. First name, content, hey name. One quick thing I want to clarify. Most contractors don't lose money on Facebook ads, on ads because Facebook doesn't work. They lose money because there's no system behind the ads. That's exactly what the video walks through step by step. Watch it here if you have a minute. So we had our custom value. I have, perfect. There we go. Boom. Then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to have another wait step. Wait for contact reply to this email. We have a timeout time of 2 days, 4 days, 6 days, 9 days. So we're just going to lower the time horizon. ChatGPT wants me to do like for reply or 1 day. Like I want to be super heavy on following up with these guys. Super, super heavy. Like that's the whole goal. They either tell us, hey, screw you, I don't want to be hearing from you, or, they tell us what's good. This one, we can wait like 3 minutes. This one we'll probably end up sending in the evening once they're done with work. So we'll probably look at sending this between like 3 p.m. We'll probably do 4 p.m. to 4:30 to like 7 in that window there. And we just do the same thing here. Literally just copy this action, put it here. This is going to be our third email. We're going to wait 1 day here. Here's the link again. Perfect. Boom. And then we got that email. Same thing again. Wait. Step 4 contact reply. Systems are really easy, guys. You don't have to overcomplicate these systems. They're super easy. So now I'm going to wait 2 days. So I'm just kind of lowering the time horizon. Wait 2 days or for reply. I'll do the same thing here. Copy all actions. A little wait step in here. We'll probably do this one in the morning again. We'll send this one in the morning. We'll try this early morning here. We'll try going with like a 5 a.m. to like 7 a.m. time horizon. 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Hit them earlier in the morning instead of a late morning here. And we're just going to copy this action. Send them an email. Email 4. 2 days away. 2 days later, I should say. Cool. And we're just going to copy this. Say checking in. I've done cold email campaigns. This isn't technically cold email. Checking in first name because they've technically opted in. But I've done campaigns before. I know what good email deliverability looks like here. So we're looking good. We want to make sure it's obviously optimized for this. Cool. Curious. What's the bigger challenge right now? Getting consistent leads, following up fast enough, converting leads into book jobs. The video covers all three, but in different ways. Here's the link again. Done. Wait. At the wait step again for contact reply. 2. That email step. Timeout. So we did 2 days. Here we're going to do 3. Actually, yeah, we'll do... Because it's good, because when you expand this over a time horizon, like they could be seeing things like, holy shit, like we really need more jobs right now. And they could easily re-engage instantly. So that's what's also nice about not overdoing your follow-up, right? We don't want to overdo the follow-up. Because like if we're bombarding them too much, they're just going to get annoyed. Our whole goal is to essentially just get them back to that page to see it, right? Why this works for some businesses and not others. And I want to have their name in it every time, because that is, if you know emails and deliverability, that's a whole nother piece of this process. We want to make sure we have the best chance of popping up in their main inbox here. And I think what I'm grabbing in the contact form is their business email. So that's really good because they actually look at their business email more than their personal email sometimes. So this one we'll probably we'll do another evening. We'll do like a later evening one where they're like definitely not working a job. So we'll do like between 7 p.m. and let's just say 9 p.m. here for this one. If I can snag the 9 p.m. without missing it. 9 p.m. Perfect. This is email 5. 3 days away. Why this works for some businesses and not others. Why this works for some businesses and not others, John. Cool. This system works best for owners who already do good work but want more predictability. That sounds like you. The video will make sense pretty quickly. Super short, super simple email. I love it. Like this is the type of thing. People aren't going to read a crazy email. And that's the thing. Like our whole goal. Here's the link again. Watch it here. Like the whole goal is to literally just get them to re-engage and go to the VSL page. That's our whole goal. Same thing. This is, I think, our last email. Yeah, this will be our last one. So we're going to wait for contact reply for now. I mean, this is a 6-touch sequence. Realistically, we can make it way more extensive and go like 60 days. But for now, we'll just do another 4 days. So we kind of, this is probably where we can wait a week, right? Because at any point in time, they could be feeling, oh, shoot, like I really do need help with my marketing. Like we're slow. Like we're not getting any results right now. You know what I mean? Here, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have this trigger right away in the morning on this last one here. We're going to do it early, and we're going to make sure it's during the week. So we're going to have this one trigger early between 5 a.m. So most of these guys are probably on jobs pretty early, so we could have this trigger between 4:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. So super early on this last email here. For now, this is going to be our last touch because I don't want to bored you guys with all this repeatable work I'm doing here. This is email 6, 1 week later. Cool. And this will be last thing I'll send on this, John. First name. So we'll switch it up here. Well, it would be first name. And I think, so we had all the, this is another thing. We had all the this stuff wrong. So we're gonna have to optimize this here. And then we're gonna have it optimize this last email quick. Cool. Real quick, what I want you to do is I want you to optimize this last email here. So I want you to add a little bit more, kind of reiterate. It's been 7 days at this point. Maybe they don't even know what this is about. So I'd probably say, hey, be like, John, close the loop after this so I don't keep picking you. If you're having trouble getting predictability, or like kind of reiterate like what we do. And like if you're having trouble keeping consistency in your business and you want a consistent, predictable lead flow, I definitely recommend you watch this video here one more time, right? Just so you understand how it works, stuff like that. So I just optimize the copy a little bit here. Since this is the last email, we kind of want to reiterate what we do just in case they forgot, because it's at this point, it's been 14 days since they've even seen our ad. Right? And this is just a good MVP follow-up structure for right now, because eventually at scale, we're going to be adding different, like this is going to be way more optimized at scale. For sure. But this is a good simple one for now. And realistically, it doesn't even have to showcase middle of funnel, because really at the end of the day, like anything else doesn't really make sense. Wow. Close the loop after this, John, so I don't keep pegging you, man. Or penging you, not pegging you. Oh, crap. This is what the real live back-end builds look like, boys. It's been about a week or two since you've originally checked this out. So just to reset context, this is about building a predictable Facebook ad system for service businesses that want consistent leads instead of relying on referrals, SEO, or hoping the phone rings. If getting steady, predictable jobs has been a challenge, or if ads have felt hit or miss in the past, I'd recommend watching this short video. I'd recommend watching the short video one more time so you fully understand how the system works and whether it makes sense for your business. If it's a fit, if not, no worries at all. Watch it here. Perfect. Now what I'm going to have to do real quick, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go back on every email and make sure that the contact, because like if I didn't optimize this to have it actually have that custom value, contact first name, we'd be in trouble. We would be in trouble. So I'm just going to quickly copy and paste all this. This would definitely be a turnoff. Like if they got an email and it said first name in brackets, that's a rookie operator mistake right there. Rookie operator mistake. And we aren't rookies out here. So I caught myself there. We don't want to make that mistake. Always make sure you're not just copy and pasting the email ChatGPT gave you, because it's going to screw up and give you the wrong custom field, and then it's not going to actually fill in that field when you send the email. So this is good to actually optimize. I think the first email we got it right. No, so all the emails were wrong. There we go. And now we have been completed. And then what we're going to basically do, we're going to add one more wait step. We're just going to make this a time delay of about 24 hours. We'll do 48 hours. And then we're not going to do a time delay because we got to make sure it's a contact reply to the last email we sent. Okay. And then obviously if they do reply, same thing here. Just going to add this action. And if they don't reply, we are going to have a tag added that says cold lead. And then we're going to move them into the nurture stage. Okay. This is essentially like a pipeline stage that we can come back to, and we can email these guys from a nurture perspective if we need to. So this is the nurture. Cool. And I'm going to update their name as well and put them as a cold lead here. So it'll be obviously contact, first name, and then we can say cold. So we know it's a cold lead. And then what we do is we'll literally just remove them from the workflow. Awesome. There we go. So that is our prospect notebook call workflow. So that is complete. And then all we need to do now is just make the simple prospect book call workflow step here. We should be looking solid. So we're looking good. We don't need the domains anymore. Obviously, we have this step in here, which is super important and crucial, what I obviously just said before. I believe they're already going to be in the pipeline stage. So we should be solid here. So really all I'm going to need is probably an internal notification that prospect has booked a call. Contact full name, has scheduled a strategy call, for appointment, start time, date. Everything has been updated on the back end. Everything has been triggered on the back end, and MOF process will start now. Awesome. So now we know that the strategy call has happened. And then if anything, what I would probably do is make an internal reminder sequence for me and also for the prospect. And then I would probably have a separate sequence for the middle of funnel warm up. So what I'm going to do In the new opt-in workflow, we're not going to update the pipeline stage for when they do book a call. We're just going to add them straight into that pipeline. Only thing that matters is if the prospect doesn't book a call. And then here, this is just going to be post-call booked, prospect book call reminders workflow. And then we would just build out reminders right here. Cool. So I got that all optimized. We have essentially the nurture to try to get them to re-engage with the video part set up, and everything's dialed in there. So now we're going to get into, I'm just going to do reminders for the call right now since we don't have any middle of funnel really built out. So I'm making just a specific sequence and automation for appointment reminders for us internally and then also for the prospect specifically. And then we'll also make sure we have a confirmation text sent to them here as well. Okay. So we're going to make sure we do that. And then yeah, from there, I basically just need your help with some of the reminders. So we'll just do like probably day before reminder, morning of, and then probably like one of them like, an hour before, something like that. And then obviously make sure that's dialed in internally as well. And then, yeah, from there we should be all good. And then obviously once we get deeper into the middle of funnel process, we can build a whole separate sequence that just kind of sends emails to kind of warm up and get their middle of funnel dialed in, send them to more assets and value. So we can kind of pre-warm them up before the call. Dude, and I just want to be clear, like the ChatGPT wrote some banger copy on that email. I'm just looking at it right now. Obviously you can't see it, but wrote some pretty good copy on this one for this email. It says, I'll close the loop after this so I don't keep pinging you. It's been about a week or two since you originally checked this out. So just to reset real quick, this is about building a predictable Facebook ad system for service businesses that want consistent leads instead of relying on referrals, SEO, or hoping the phone rings. If getting steady, predictable jobs has been a challenge, or if ads have felt hit or miss in the past, I'd recommend watching the short video one more time so you fully understand how the system works and whether it makes sense for your business. So I think it's a pretty solid email copy, to be honest. Cool. Amazing. And then all I'm going to have to do, essentially, I'm going to wait. It's probably about 2 minutes here. No, we can wait 1 minute. Wait 1 minute. That way it doesn't feel like right when they opt in and schedule it goes off. So just wait 1 minute. We'll send the SMS to them. Hey, first name, you're all set. If anything comes up, please reschedule so we can open the spot for another business owner. I love that framing. Hey, first name. See, it screwed up the, I got to train it on this next time so it knows. Hey, first name, you're all set. Your strategy call with Ethan is booked for appointment time at appointment date at appointment time. You receive a Google Meet link before the call. If anything comes up, please reschedule so we can open the spot for another business owner. Awesome. SMS confirmation. Probably do an email as well. I like that idea. Send them an email too. Hit every line you can, man. Email confirmation. You got to hit every line you can, brother. Your strategy call is booked. Contact first name. And I screwed up the messaging again. Contact first name. Your call with Ethan is confirmed for appointment date at appointment time. Now let's make sure that's accurate. I think it is. Let's make sure. Appointment. So it's not. So don't listen to ChatGPT here, folks. On the, don't listen to him. Talk soon, Ethan. Talk soon, Ethan Helverson, founder, HB Marketing. Cool. So we're going to have to do that with the SMS because that's all wrong. Start date at appointment time. Cool. And then we have a wait step here, which is basically event/appointment time. Wait till 23 hours before. We'll just do 1 day. Wait till 1 day before. And then we would do the same thing here with the SMS confirmation and the email confirmation. This is SMS reminder, email reminder. Actually, we can just probably keep it an SMS. Quick reminder, your strategy call with Ethan is tomorrow at appointment start time. Make sure you're in a quiet spot and ready to talk about your business. If you need to reschedule, please let me know here. So we'll delete this here, and then we'll hit a little wait step here. Actually, probably just do an internal notification to myself here. Hey, your call is with XYZ. That way I know as well. So, hey, contact first name has been strategy call. So we'll say reminder, 24-hour reminder. Contact first name is scheduled strategy call for appointment start. Dope. And then we'll do a wait. Morning of, today's the day. Your strategy call with Ethan is at XYZ. Google Meet link will be sent here before the call. Perfect. So at our wait step, event appointment time. So this is basically like, how many hours before? Probably like 5 hours before. Wait till morning of. Then we do the SMS reminder here. Today's the day. Google Meet link will be sent here before the call. Today's the day. Your strategy call with Ethan is at appointment start time. The Google Meet link will be sent here before the call. Amazing. Yeah, I'm going to do an internal notification here. I'm going to just switch the verbiage a little bit. Internal notification. Your strategy call today at appointment time. Appointment start time with contact first name from, then we'll do the business name as well. I like that. Boom. Dope. So this is good enough for now. It's enough reminders internally. One thing I'm going to do to make sure we're chilling here is everything sending from a specific time window. We don't want to be spamming. Okay. We don't want to be spamming. Boom. Dope. Alrighty. That looks good. So we have our sequences created. As you can see here, we just wanted to build out a couple simple automations for this system. So basically what we all did was just some simple, boring backend work. I've been in Go high level for a long time, so I know how that whole process works and stuff. So if that was confusing at all, just let me know in the comments or DM me on Instagram. I'd be happy to answer any questions about how everything got set up in Go high level, but you pretty much saw everything that I did. So hopefully that helped you in some way. And now we're just going to lay out the pre-call video. I'm going to do this with ChatGPT directly, and we're probably just going to make it on this Miro board here. We're going to put it somewhere in here. So yeah, that is the play. That is the plan. That is the plot. So we're going to get right into that now. And then once we get to the client journey system, it's probably not going to be super extensive. We're probably just going to kind of do a high level overview of what these systems would look like. And I'll probably make the YouTube account and all that stuff right now as well. And kind of just get the funnel in specific places, since now we have everything dialed in. But first thing I'm going to do here before we even do that is I'm going to go in. I'm going to go in and I'm going to make sure everything's synced up and connected here. So we want to start at the site level, go to the nurture system funnel. Okay. And we're going to test this and make sure that this works. So we'd click on this, it'd take us here. I do believe that this would redirect us to step 2. Okay. And then what we need to do in step 2 is we need to connect this button to our calendar strategy. I'm gonna look at it on mobile because that's all I care about. Button actions. So I'm gonna have to copy the link to the call. Cool. So I'm gonna have to copy the link to the call. So I gotta go back, find our link for the call, which is here. Calendar settings. This call, share, permanent link. I'm gonna make sure it works in our browser again. Looks good to me. Awesome. Now we're gonna go back into the sites and just add that in. So when that button and they click it, just making sure everything works from this perspective. So when they click that button, it'll open up the calendar page. Cool. Book a strategy call, website URL. Cool. Same thing here. Website URL. Awesome. We're going to save it quick. I'm going to publish it. And then I'm going to look on this page. Obviously, it's not optimized for computer. Book strategy call. Boom. Takes us there. Perfect. Test this one. Schedule strategy call. Takes us there. Perfect. Awesome. Realistically, we could probably make the call 45 minutes. Could always switch that up. 60 minutes feels like a heavy lift. And I could just do 45 minutes with like a, what's it called? Probably like a, what do they call that? It's like a post buffer. So like post buffer timeline on it. So we'll probably do that just to make it a little better here. So we're going to make it a 45-minute call. And then the post buffer time to block before each meeting allowing. So yeah, pre-meeting, probably 15, post meeting, 15. And I don't know how much that changes the calendar here. We're going to check. Okay, not too much. Awesome. Cool. There we go. Now we got our calendar. I like it because it looks like we don't got a lot of time. We got a lot of shit we got to deal with. Cool. All right. Awesome. So we look busy. Cool. So that's done. And then what we're going to want to do quick is optimize the survey. I think I don't have the redirect to the URL on here yet. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go here. We're going to want to copy the site link for step 2 because that's where we're redirecting them. That is where we are redirecting them. So we're going to copy the site link there. We're going to go back to survey, edit it. Yep. So I have it's your work email. This is the right field. I hope it is. Oops. So here's the company name. This is the right field. So we got to just make this quick adjustment here quick, just so we get the right fields that come in, because we don't want to screw that up. I don't know why I had it all screwed up before when I first did this. So your name, and then we want to optimize this real quick for their name. So we'll just say like, we can just do your first name, because we're asking them for their full name here later. First name is cool. Your first name, your company name, your work email. This is going to be in the company section. It's technically their business email. And obviously you'll be able to double check to see if it is the same. Just want to make sure this is dialed in. And then I believe what we're going to do is just switch this up quick. What's your current monthly revenue range? Yeah, this doesn't matter at all. You cannot add this field. Well, yes, that's why I'm going to delete this field. Fields from company already exist in this survey. Only one associated object field can be added alongside. That's stupid. Doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, we're just going to keep this in here then. I don't understand that at all. All right. And then we're just going to have the redirect URL here to this page. Yeah, looks good there. Cool. And then I think we're done. The only thing we have to do next here is have a redirect after they book a call. So I'm going to go to Nurture System Funnel. We're going to rename step 3, and then we'll just call this post call confirmation. Post call booked confirmed. To confirm the call has been booked, we're going to go here to make sure this loads, and yeah, looks good there. Cool. We're going to copy that. We're going to go back into our calendar. Like I said, we got to make sure all the backend is synced up here. Go here. And then we have the confirmation page, redirect to this URL. Nice. And now we're just going to go through and test this real quick. So I'm going to just turn on these automations. Obviously, it's test specific. So we'll just turn these on, make sure everything's working, publish all these workflows here quick, make sure everything's syncing up and working. All right. Now let's go to the main page here, which will be me just going here. We're just going to open step 1. All right. We're here on step 1. It looks super stupid, obviously, format-wise. Click this. Yep, new inbound marketing lead. So we got to fix... Yep, so we just got to fix our little info. Okay, so these were tests. So nothing went through. Cool. All right. And then all I need to do here is just optimize real quick the one automation to make sure that it actually uses the right information in the internal notification. That's it. So instead of their contact email, we got to snag their company email, which I don't know where that is in here. Company? What the hell? Is it account? Is that what it is? Yeah, I don't really know what the hell that is, to be honest with you. I'm going to go back here real quick. We're just going to optimize this page one more time. I know I'm bullshitting with you guys here, but we're going to optimize this page one more time real quick. My MacBook's about to die, so we're going to have to end this video here shortly because I unfortunately cannot charge it. So we're going to optimize it. So we got their first name, the company name, Jazz, Ting, didn't work. What we could do is just, make it just this field that we already had. Might as well remove all company fields. Get them out of here. We don't want them. Required. And then email, your best email. And then I believe now we can put the accurate field that we want in there. Okay, amazing. Awesome. There we go. Now we're looking good. So everything should come up right this time. Cool. So yeah, we just confirmed that the funnel works. Everything is perfectly in sync. So yeah, we're moving with efficiency here, fellas. So yeah, we just built the entire backend out and go high level. This is what I'm going to record for you guys here now, the entire backend. Client journey system, I'll kind of just briefly explain it. So really all I'm going to be doing in the pre-call video is basically going over like expectations, right? Give them some value on the call, right? What is the call going to look like? Kind of pre-frame the call essentially. That's like what we're doing here is pre-framing the call, right? It's going to be around, I would say probably like 4 minutes or so. So we'll probably have it like 4 minutes, super simple. I'm going to make it in Miro here. So I'm going to basically just kind of lay it out, just kind of get a good structure for it. Really stupid simple. If you guys want any sort of SOPs on it, this is literally the SOP. Go over expectations, pre-frame the call. Just, that's pretty much it. Cool. And then for the client journey system here, I'll kind of briefly explain what this looks like. So the client journey, we're basically going to go into, we kind of already went into the client journey with you, but middle funnel content, this is another video we can go on with YouTube, how you can build trust and essentially give them pre-framing value content to warm them up for the sales call with YouTube content, right? So I'm going to start a separate YouTube channel specifically for this niche. So a niche YouTube channel, which the goal of this channel is to essentially bring in people organically and then also bring people towards for sales calls to watch these videos. Like, hey, here's our YouTube if you want to see breakdowns, stuff like that. Kind of just make it simple like that. So that's kind of the process there. And then obviously the client funnel, you kind of already saw how that looks and how that works right now. So that's pretty simple there. And then we're going to make a nurture system as well and like some deeper follow-up automations with emails for people that are not ready to buy, right? So that's the goal there. So that's pretty much what these processes look like for your understanding here. And we're going to get into them. I'm going to get into them independently here from this video. But basically what you saw is me basically build out an entire backend for an offer. And you can do the same thing yourself for an online offer. This is for an online offer specifically, but if you're running a physical offer, any sort of service, this is the best way to run an offer. So hopefully you learned a lot from this video and you saw exactly how my growth operator guy can kind of do this. I've been in Go High Level for years, so I already know this kind of stuff really, really well. If you would like a system built out for your business like this, hit me up, DM me on Instagram down below. I would love to build this something like this out for you. I'm really skilled in funnel building, automations, backend systems, marketing, top of funnel, obviously, have you seen in previous videos. So yeah, that's basically everything with this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to check out part 1 and part 2 of this video to get complete context. And I'll probably make a final video here going through this entire process and giving you guys some initial numbers of how things went when we did launch this here. We're looking to launch this in about a couple of days. So we'll be able to let you guys know how that went. Until then, I hope you have a great one. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment for more value, baby. We'll see you in the next one.